Welcome to this E-50M replay on Redshire. The E-50M in this match is being played by MrFabulouz from Feed, and he did send me this replay quite a while ago. But the last couple of weeks I had trouble recording replays. At some point during the recording it will basically just crash, not only World of Tanks but basically prevent me from getting out of the client, and I had to basically restart my machine, which was really unfortunate, but it turned out to be my mod pack actually. And I thought I had updated it, but obviously I didn't, so I did update it now, and hopefully I can record all my replays again, because there's quite a couple that I've got that I want to show you guys. So this was the oldest one, and therefore the first one, and we can see that MrFabulouz is, while he is in a, it's not the best matchup. I mean, the enemy team has a lot of heavy tanks, which will come in handy for MrFabulouz later on. I won't spoil it, but it is also a little bit tough to take on so many heavies. The enemy team has basically got 2 more, which is a bit unfortunate. But then you've got players like this IS-7, which basically stopped in the middle of the field to give MrFabulouz a really nice flat shot into the side. So yeah, that works out really well, but I guess that also explains why that guy is a rat player. I mean, nothing personal, but it's a bit dumb to do stuff like that in a tier 10. And he still has a massive hard on for Mr. Feed, tries to snipe him, but Mr. Feed just casually MrFabulouz puts another casual shot into his side. I really don't need to mix up the clan tag and the actual name, sorry. But we can see that while this flank is relatively clear, at least up until now, all the enemy heavy tanks seem to be, well, apart from the IS-7, seem to be clustered on the other flank with our heavies. So MrFabulouz actually does the wise thing here, moves up. There is a T-54 in the cap circle, and in this kind of matchmaking you really want to take care of tanks like that, because with 330mm of heat penetration they can be a real pain in the ass for your own team if they get to the late stage of the battle and can actually work that damage. So they take care of this T-54, and now this T-54 E1 is over there, so put a shot into him and pull back. T-54 E1 does the wise thing and tries to pull back, gets behind the rock, but MrFabulouz puts a really nice shot into his side as well. And then we've got one on the turret, which casually bounces off into the mountain because of reasons. But then you have this T110E5, and luckily MrFabulouz actually sees this. And if you have side shots at a T110E5 in this kind of matchmaking, you focus that tank over everything else. Because the thing with T110E5 is that even a mediocre player can completely ruffle stomp your team if you let them just drive with impunity. Because frontally the T110E5 is very troll at the moment. The armor was, a little bit overbuffed. Wargaming has admitted this as well. And then we get this T49 here, which does the right thing, like playstyle wise for the T49, but his choice of target was really, really bad. I mean, while this kind of shotgun move might work on most tanks, the E-50M has got quite nice side armor as well, so you're wasting a lot of potential damage by doing that. He gets shot in the ass by the T110E5 at the moment, so he wants to get despotted. Tries to put a shot into T110E5, but that guy retreats below, and now MrFabulouz is in a bit of a pinch, because tactical position wise he's not in an ideal situation, because he's got a lot of enemy heavies in his rear that he basically can't hide from, and in front of him he's got a big TD, and on his side he's got 2 other tanks. So he doesn't have a bit of a panic moment here, but he sort of tries to find a shot on this Jagdpanzer E-100 and is also thinking probably how he can best get out of here without dying. We see that Super Bulldog dies in front of him, and he managed to track and damage the Jagdpanzer E-100, which is a really nice and welcome thing to happen. Manages to kill him, and now he moves up so that his rear is safe from all the heavies on the other flank, because they're moving around the hill, so he really needs to get out of there. Puts a shot into the Panther 2, although personally, I mean, the Panther 2 can do what, 240 damage, and this guy does nearly 400, so I would have actually put my first shot into him. But, I mean, whatever is available, I guess, at the time. So now this flank is clear. His team can start trying to take care of the enemies on the other flank, but the problem with that is that the enemies on the other flank are primarily all the heavy tanks, as well as one Jagdpanzer E-100. That is a lot of armor and a lot of HP that you need to kill. And while it is always nice to farm damage, it makes life a lot more difficult than it should be if you've got this much HP on the enemy team and this little on your own. So he pre-taps the heat round for the next one, tries to get a shot into the E-100, but unfortunately falls into the rock. But the thing is, he's outside the E-100 spotting range while the E-100 is within his. Unfortunately, his heat round dips into the gun mantlet of the E-100 instead of going where it was aimed, which is unfortunate. This heat round dips into the track because reasons and RNG. And he tries to get one into the side of the E-100 turret, but the E-100 turns his turret just in time to avoid that round, and now MrFabulouz wisely pulls back. Tries to spot the E-100 again, and this Type 61 Player of the Year award, even though he's behind an enemy rank, which is good practice. You don't do that in a Type 61 because you're a huge paper tank with a huge paper cupola, so they just need to basically waft the shot in your direction to penetrate. He did pull back, he still gets killed. Not the best move. But the IS-7 is luckily taken out. And here we've got the E-100 again. Aims for the side of the turret, and the shell dips into the house. And we start to see a pattern here with shells dipping into stuff that they're not aimed at, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I guess RNG has to intervene at some point. So 2 heat shells left. This one dips as well, but luckily it still dips into a turret and not into some weird angled armor or some bit of scenery. And at this point, MrFabulouz realizes that he shouldn't really stay there. He's got 1 heat shell left, and you don't want to really engage all these heavy tanks frontally with 1 heat shell. So he goes around, tries to get the side of this E-100, takes aim, but only sees the tracks, and you don't want to put the heat shell into that. But if the E-100 pulls back and gives the side of his turret, then by all means put a shot into it. So let's see if we can get the second one in. Yes, we can, but RNG again says no. I mean, side armor of the E-100 is quite nice. Spaced armor is also quite nice, but this gun has 268 penetration, and still RNG says no. So yeah, really nice work. Back to this Jagdpanzer E-100, who looks angrily his way, so MrFabulouz thinks nope, not going to engage that, just going to wait. The E-50 manages to take out the E-100 on the flank. MrFabulouz unfortunately misses his shot, which dips into the ground in front of him, but that was more due to his mobility mishap than anything else. But the enemy E-100 actually kills the Waffle E-100, so at this point it's 2 versus 2, but the 2 on the enemy team have got a lot more armor and a lot more HP at the moment. MrFabulouz puts a really nice shot into the side of this Jagdpanzer E-100, thinks about putting a second one in, and then this E-100 Player of the Year award again for climbing a hill. Why would you do that? MrFabulouz guesses he can take a shot, and then the E-100 high rolls with a shell that should do 750 damage, and he does 820. So yeah, that's really unlucky. The E-50M or the E-50 on his team gets taken out, and MrFabulouz tries a nice tracking shot. RNG says no again. So, and now he gets into a really close situation, but luckily he manages to get around it. Panzer E-100, who at this point should have driven backwards and rammed MrFabulouz to actually win the match easily, but I guess he forgot that. MrFabulouz puts another shot in, but stays safe of the rear of that enemy and kills him. So, even though the enemy team had more heavies and a lot of HP, in the end that did come in really handy because it allowed MrFabulouz to do over 10,000 damage this battle, which is really nice, even for a tier 10 medium. I mean, that's a really good result. He's got 2 barrel marks on his E-50M, so I guess he really likes to play it. I've got 1 on mine at the moment, but I rarely play tier 10 mediums in randoms. Actually, I play them mostly in strongholds, and a lot of them I actually got before the barrel marks were introduced. I don't play them that much. I really should get back to them though. If I see matches like this, it makes me want to play my E-50M as well. If you were wondering, by the way, this camouflage is a Clan War reward camouflage. You can't get it normally unless you participated in that campaign. They might give it out in the future, I don't know. But it's a really nice camouflage on all tanks, basically. But back to the results. Over 10,000 damage. I mean, that is really impressive in itself. But the base XP score as well was over 1,700, and for a tier 10 medium, that is a lot. That is really a lot. Obviously, Ace Tanker badge, I mean, speaks for itself, but also Confederate because he hit basically everyone on the enemy team, I think, apart from the T-54 lightweight. I think he hit all of them. Yeah, he definitely did. He also got high caliber, obviously, with 10,000 damage. He got Tank Sniper for doing the most damage over 300 meters, which, yeah, with all the sniping, which this tank is suited for, definitely. And he got Top Gun for the 6 kills. I mean, great match. Simply great match. The in-game WN8 counter sets over 14,000, 14,800. I didn't see the XVM replay thingy, so I don't know how much it was when you upload it. But yeah, great match. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe to the channel and rate the replay, and see you guys next time.